All right, we're up and streaming. You guys just let me know whenever y'all ready on y'all's end, and we'll be starting.
Yeah, we line them up right now.
Okay, no problem.
Gonna face this way. Let me get the red line right here. Let's go back to the 3 rows right here. One more person right here. Get behind somebody. Take your arms out to lead. Lead. Matter of fact, you come back in. You get right in our spot. You come behind her.
Get your hands up.
You gotta take your hands out to sleep. And you be right there. Not all the way. Right. You need one.
Okay, so.
And the things there, yeah, no.
These two right here. So if you hear on love God, so not your fault, but you know, you hear from probation.
I don't want to put the other ones.
Yes, I just have to continue to talk to you about the charges. You say, if you have a bond, what do you want additional? Say like you get family violence. Still say you can't go back and stay away from such. So don't ask any questions. Try to ask questions about your case. We don't need, reason we say don't ask questions because the judge doesn't know anything about the specifics of their case. They just know you charged with and know if they can give you a bond. And they would tell you, and she would tell you your next court.
Well, he said he'll be right back.
And they'll ask.
We ready.
I'm here.
We ready.
Okay.
Hey, put it up for us.
All right. They can hear me in the back, right?
Can y'all hear him in the back? Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Sunday, October the 8th, 2023. The time is 10:03. My name is Judge Daniel Nagel. Today's hearing is a first appearance hearing. If you don't know what a first appearance hearing is, let me explain it to you. This is not an evidentiary hearing. What that means is this is not an opportunity for you to talk about the facts and circumstances of your case. This is not an opportunity for you to present witnesses, present defenses, explain to me why the charges are wrong or incorrect, or why you were innocent or did not do what you are accused of doing. This is an informative hearing, meaning that I am going to share information with you for your knowledge, and some of that information is going to be, number one, the charges against you and whether they are misdemeanors or felonies or a mixture of both. I'm also going to go over with you bond amounts if you are entitled to or eligible for a bond, or if bond has been considered in your case. Additionally, I'm going to go over whether there are any special conditions of your bond. Special conditions of your bond are mainly, number one, a stay away provision from a certain person. If you are told that you are not allowed to be around a certain person, the best thing for you to do is just pretend that that person does not exist in your world. Do not contact them directly or indirectly. Direct contact means you speaking or calling or texting or writing or using social media, WhatsApp, Kik, Instagram, Facebook, any creative way that you think that you can talk to them, don't do it. Indirectly means that you have somebody contact them on your behalf. Again, don't do that. If you violate that special condition of your bond, guess what can happen to you? Not only will you potentially get your bond revoked, but you could pick up more charges, which I believe is a felony count of failure to obey a court order. And if you pick up that charge, guess what a judge is not likely to do? Grant you a bond. So you will potentially get your bond revoked, pick up new charges, and then don't get a bond. And you will be staying at the Clayton County Jail until those cases are resolved. So if you are told to not have contact with someone, just don't do it. The other type of special condition is a stay away from a certain location. If you were told to stay away from a certain location, it's exactly what it sounds like. Do not go to that location, or else the same thing can happen to you. You could pick up more charges, you could have your bond revoked, and you could be facing charges without a bond, because the judge is going to see that you already do not know how to obey special conditions of your bond. If the place that you are to stay away from is a residence, your residence, and you need to get your belongings from there, I will put on the bond order that you can go back and get your belongings, but you can't do it with by yourself and just show up. You must make arrangements with the Clayton County Sheriff's Department to go and get your stuff. Okay. I will also let you know when your next court date is. Pay attention to this. Your next court date is your preliminary hearing. That is an evidentiary hearing. That is where you can call witnesses. That is where you can possibly put up some defenses on why your charges should not be bound over to either state court for misdemeanors or superior court for felonies. However, if you bond out of jail before your preliminary hearing, you will not need to appear for that court date. So for misdemeanors, the preliminary hearing date is November the 7th. For felonies, if you have any felonies, the next court date is going to be November the 8th. If you bond out before November 7th or November 8th, you do not need to appear for that court date. Your case will be sent to either state court or superior court, and your next court date will most likely be for an arraignment. Make sure that your information is correct with either a bonding company or the Sheriff's Department or both, so you will be notified of that next court date. All right. Lastly, I will go over with you whether you want to represent yourself, hire your own attorney, or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. You were all given an application to fill out, and I can only assume that if you did not fill it out, you do not want a court-appointed attorney. So then you will either need to hire your own attorney or represent yourself, which is not advisable, okay? If at any point in time you change your mind and you start with a court-appointed attorney and you want to hire another attorney, you can do that. The same thing, if you want to hire your own attorney and later on you want a court-appointed attorney, you can do that as well. But it's important that you leave today with some type of plan or action, because you don't want to continue down the road without having at least some representation, okay? Now, even though I am a judge, I am limited on what I can do in this hearing. So the most common type of questions that I get are, how do I pay my bond? Well, there's basically two main ways. Number one is you can pay the amount in full. So if your bond is $5,000, you can go through the Sheriff's Department. You can pay the $5,000. There may be some fees or surcharges or something like that. And then you will be released so long as you do not have any holds or anything else that would keep you in custody here or elsewhere. The other way is through a bonding company. A bonding company typically charges somewhere between 10 and 20% of the total bond. Okay, that's not by law as far as I know, but I'm just giving you a general idea because people ask me all the time, well, how much is it? So the rule of thumb is if your bond is $5,000, 10% of that is $500. 20% of that is $1,000. I use those numbers because it's simple math. But a bonding company will be typically 10 to 20% of your total bond. Now, I do not have any control of what type of documentation they need or what it is that you need in order to meet the bonding requirements for the bonding company. So please don't ask me. I don't have any control over that. Also, please do not ask for an OR or a signature bond or judicial release or anything like that. I already assume that everyone there does not like being incarcerated at the Clayton County Jail. I make that assumption, okay? I would imagine that you do not enjoy being there. So I review the facts of your case, whether you have any criminal histories and things of those nature, and I take that in consideration when your bond is being set, okay? So if your bond is not an OR or a signature bond, then it's not going to be, okay? So again, I assume that everyone is asked, so don't waste my time, your time, and everyone else's that's their time asking for that, because the answer is going to be no. Now, I'm going to meet with each one of you individually, discuss the information that I just went over with you for your specific case. And then at the end, I will ask if you have any questions. Just remember that I'm limited to answering questions about what your charges are, what your bond amount is, if there are any special conditions of your bond, your next court date, and how you want to proceed with a lawyer. I cannot give legal advice, and I won't, okay? So please don't ask me about, what you should or should not do, because I can't help you in that capacity, all right? But I will give you an opportunity to ask questions because you may not be familiar with this, and it is a lot of information, and for some of you it may be overwhelming. Okay, I try to give you an opportunity to ask, and I'll help in any way that I can, but just keep in mind that I'm very limited. Make sure you speak clearly, and there may be a little bit of delay between when I stop speaking and when you start speaking, so just wait like 1 second. If I'm asking or talking, wait 1 second for me to be done, and then you can respond. That way we're not talking over each other and there isn't any confusion. And then the last kind of announcement is going to be, some of you may have some or all of your charges dismissed, okay? If your charges are dismissed, those charges may be brought back later on down the road. I'm not going to tell law enforcement to bring those charges back. It's none of my business, but the charges may be dismissed because there is a lack of, for example, a victim's name, okay? That is, relatively speaking, an easy fix for law enforcement to make, but I don't know if they will make it. That's not my job. My job is to evaluate what comes before me and see if it is legally in order, okay? So do not be surprised. I'm not saying that it will. I'm not saying that it won't, but do not be surprised if later on down the road, charges come back, okay? Just know that as they were presented to me, I did not find them legally sufficient, so I'm dismissing those charges. So I don't want to have to repeat that. And as long as you do not have anything that's holding you, for example, probation violation in Clayton County or somewhere else, or pending charges here or somewhere else, or anything like that, if your charges are dismissed, you will be free to go. Just give everyone some time to process the paperwork and get that over to the sheriff's department. Just do not get yourself in any more trouble while you are there, and you will be good to go. Now, before I meet with everyone individually, we'll start with the females first, but I need everyone to please raise your right hand. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the statements that you make shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can say, I do. All right. We'll start with the female side first with Ms. Baldwin.
Baldwin, right here. This one. Baldwin, thanks. Thank you. Brown. Baldwin's right in front of you.
All right. Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Good. All right, Ms. Baldwin, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. That is a misdemeanor. I am going to set a bond of $3,000. Okay. You do have a special condition of your bond to not return back to 83 Upper Riverdale Road, Southwest. So I don't know what's going on with you in that particular location, but they do not want you there. So please do not go back to that location, or you could have some really, really bad problems like I spoke about earlier. Okay. Do you understand? You have to speak up.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And the reason why I asked is because I don't want you to say, well, I didn't understand. That's why I asked the question, okay? Your next court date is going to be on October the 7th, but if you bond out, you don't have to appear for that court date. Do you want to proceed with a be considered for a court appointed attorney, or do you want to hire your own attorney?
Court attorney.
Okay. All right. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions, Ms. Baldwin?
No, I know.
Okay, all right, Ms. Baldwin, good luck to you. All right, let me get Brown. Give me just 1 second, please. All right, Ms. Brown, you are charged with, looks like you are charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull your application here. Okay. Here we go. All right. That is a felony charge. However, I'm dismissing that count against you. The reason why I'm dismissing the case against you is because they didn't put a victim's name. So I don't know if that's actually your car or not. Additionally, there's no evidence that you knew or should have known that the vehicle was stolen. Now, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know. It ain't in front of me, so charges go away. Remember what I said about the charges being dismissed, okay? But as long as you don't get yourself in any trouble, which I hope you won't, then you'll be free to go in just a little bit, okay? They just gotta process the paperwork. Ms. Brown, do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, Ms. Brown, please don't come back.
I won't.
All right, good luck to you. All right, let me get Ms. Croft.
You know. What's your name?
All right, Ms. Croft, give me just a second here. All right, Ms. Croft, you you are charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. That is a felony count. I am going to grant a bond in your case of $3,000. Okay. Are you going to be able to make that bond?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Well, you don't have any other special conditions other than just to not violate the law anymore, okay? Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th, okay? But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
A court.
Okay. All right. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions, Ms. Croft?
No.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Croft. Lowry.
Did you have a Banks on there?
Give me just a second. I might have them on the, let me see where my list is. I had that Banks was out to bond on an OR.
Yeah. Okay. Who you need next?
So that was on the roster that was sent to me this morning. So Ms. Banks, I don't know if you're in the process of bonding out, but it seems to me that you should be.
So you should get in the pocket. All right, next. Come on.
Let's see, I have Blair is not active. So next is Lowry.
We're gonna do her last.
Who?
Lowry.
Why?
That is females.
Let them know, last.
Last of the females.
No, I'm saying why do her last? She's right here. I can knock her out real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and do this one real quick. It won't take long.
You wanna put him back in here?
Who was put it back instead?
That's the one that too.
Where's she at?
You got it.
He's on our way, Your Honor.
She's on the way up.
Okay. Is Saeed Habib there?
Okay.
Okay. Well, Lowry's on her way. I'll sit her.
He's right here.
Oh, okay. All right, Miss Lowry. All right, Miss Lowry, you are charged with 1 count of giving inmates providing prohibited items to inmates. That is a felony. criminal attempt, conspiracy felony, and crossing the guard lines felony. I am going to grant a bond on the first charge of the prohibited items. The bond is $5,000. The other two charges $2,500 each. So your total bond is $10,000. You also have a stay away from 9157 Tierra Boulevard, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236, which is the Clayton County Sheriff's Office. So do not step back on that property. Okay. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I don't know. It's the first time here.
You got to speak up for me.
I don't know. This is my first time going through this. I don't know.
Okay, well, you could either A, hire an attorney, or B, I can look at your application and consider you for a court-appointed attorney. Either way, you can change your mind later on. So if you want a court-appointed attorney and you qualify, then you can change your mind later on down the road, but you don't need to leave today without somebody getting your paperwork on your case. So do you want to hire someone or do you want to be considered for a court-appointed?
I guess court appointed.
Okay. All right. I will grant that request. Do you have any questions?
What happens once I pay the bond?
As long as you don't have any other charges, you're good to go, and then you'll get your next court date in the mail.
Okay,
Okay?
yes, sir.
All right, anything else? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, let me get Saeed Habib. All right, ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Rothman, say a bit.
All right. You were charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is $2,000. One misdemeanor count of use or possession of drug-related objects. The bond is $1,000. And then possession of fraudulent ID felony. The bond is going to be $4,000. So your total bond is $7,000. Okay. You do have a special condition to do not go back onto the property of 7342 Hanover Parkway North. Okay, do not return back to that address. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. However, if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. Now, I noticed just based off the facts and the location that you do have a co-defendant, but it's not really a co-defendant. I'm not going to tell you to stay away from that person, but you probably should. And I don't know, maybe the cases aren't related, but it looks like they are. Either way, you should probably avoid contact with that person. Okay. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
You're the court attorney.
Okay. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Yeah.
All right, let me get Sullivan.
We're grabbing her now, y'all. Come on, man, it's not Stacy. Thank you. Come on. That's what court's for. It's court.
Let's keep going in front of it.
What camera?
Right here.
That's a screen. It's not a camera.
It's in a little bit.
Why?
Are you Miss Sullivan?
Yes.
All right, Miss Sullivan, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. Your bond is $1,500, and one misdemeanor charge of criminal trespass. The bond is $2,500. So your total bond is $4,000. You also have a special condition to not return back to 3581 Cameron Parkway. So I don't know what's going on with you in that location, but the people there do not want you back at that location. So don't go back, okay? You can go everywhere else you want, just don't go there.
Yes.
Your next court date is going to be on it looks like November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
A court-appointed attorney. I don't have any money.
I got you.
Is
Okay.
there any way to get a bond reduction since I don't have any money? I
Well-
can't afford that.
Well, my job is to, that is somewhat of a
Trustee bond
factor about,
reductions.
listen, that's somewhat already taken into consideration. I just have to make sure that my bonds are consistent amongst everybody, okay?
Nothing for a
So-
trespassing,
Huh?
4,500 for trespassing and what was the other one?
Disorderly conduct.
4,500 in Nashville, that's like DUI bond amounts. Are you sure that's right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and that's fairly low.
4,500 for being at a motel. Don't disturb this judge.
Listen, the bond is set at 4,000 total.
Judge,
Listen,
to the judge
Don't-
about my bond,
listen.
ask him if he's done.
Ms. Sullivan, don't argue with the deputies. Don't argue with the deputy. They're not doing anything
Never
wrong to
seen a
you.
deputy come up and ask the judge if he's done.
Listen,
A black one to a white judge. I'm from Nashville.
Stop.
We don't do that.
stop talking.
They made me put my hands behind my.
That's it.
back.
She's done.
Don't touch me. Oh
You're
my,
gonna pick up new charges if you keep it up.
what, sir?
Who's next?
What'd you say, Judge?
You're not with the contempt charge. Explain that to her.
All right, let me get Ms. Troutman.
Oh, if I'm over to it, I'm white. I gotta be careful. I forgot. $4,000. You're letting all these niggas put their hands.
All right, Ms. Troutman.
Be just quiet. Blood.
If she's not quiet in the next 5 seconds, charge her with disrupting a court proceeding. All right, Ms. Troutman, can you hear me? Okay. All right, Ms. Troutman, you were charged with one count of terroristic threats. Looks like that's a felony. The bond is going to be, I am going to set a bond of 4,000. One misdemeanor count of criminal trespass, the bond is 2,000. One misdemeanor count of simple assault, the bond is 1,000. And then one misdemeanor count of simple battery, the bond is 2,000. So your total bond is $9,000. You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Rashante Butler, okay? Also, do not return back to the 6430 Briarwood Court location. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. But if you bond out, you will not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Oh, you got to speak up for me, okay? Okay, I got you. All right. All right, Ms. Troutman, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. All right, and then you are Miss Wynn, correct? All right, give me a second, Miss Wynn, because I know I have your paperwork. Let me make sure I check you off my list. Yeah. In just a moment. Oh, there you go. All right, Ms. Wynn, you were charged with one count of aggravated assault, which is a felony. I am setting the bond at $30,000, and one count of criminal damage to property in the first degree. The bond is $10,000. So your total bond is $40,000. You are to have no contact with Sunday Thomas. So I don't know who that person is to you, but do not have any contact with that person, okay? Remember what I said earlier about getting yourself in more trouble with charges and bonds and things like that. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions, Ms. Wynn? Okay, Ms. Wynn, good luck to you. All right, that's all the females I have.
Yes, sir. Judge, we have an inmate who inmate Spencer, who we would like to go first, because he's wanted with the fugitives. They would need to talk to him, so we were wondering if he could go ahead first so we can get him out of here so he can go where he needs to go.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me grab, you said last name is Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay,
Anyone else? Oh, I don't have a Spanish interpreter, so we'll have to
okay, we just,
continue.
okay, that's fine. Is it for Lopez?
I think so, yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll just send him back as well, but
Yep,
everyone else is in alphabetical order after Spencer.
okay. Cool. I'm pulling up Spencer's stuff right now. All right. Oh, well. Give me just a moment, Mr. Spencer. I'm just get your paperwork together. All right, are you Mr. Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Spencer, you are charged with 1 count of armed robbery, which is a felony. I'm not even allowed to set a bond on that case, on that charge, so I can't set a bond. One count of possession of a weapon during commission of a crime, the bond is $10,000. 1 count of possession of a weapon under age of 21, the bond is $5,000. Cruelty to children in the first 3, the bond is $5,000. So on the charges that I can set a bond for, your bond is $20,000, but on the armed robbery, I can't even set one. That has to be done by a superior court judge. Your next court date for these charges is going to be November the 8th for a preliminary hearing. Okay, that'll be your next court date for your prelim. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'm probably gonna have to do a court attorney for now, but I'm gonna see if I can make probably get an attorney.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll get the public defender's office your paperwork, and then if you change your mind, just have your attorney, if you're able to get one, just let them know that your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Spencer, do you have any questions?
So like, what you just said, can I bond out or not? That's sitting here to vote.
No, I can't set a bond on that one charge, so you could post bond on the other charges. You just can't post bond on the armed robbery charge. So what will happen is at your preliminary hearing, or maybe before then, someone with the public defender's office or your attorney, they can try to get you a bond, but it has to go through a superior court judge. It can't be me. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Spencer. All right. We should be on Boykin. That's what I have first.
How you doing?
All right. Guys, just make sure that you all speak up a little bit.
How you doing?
I think I got.
Yes, sir, Mr. Boykin, I'm all right. You are charged with 1 count of identity fraud. That is a felony charge. I am going to set a bond, and your bond is going to be $5,000. Okay. You're to not have any contact with Milton Womack Jr. Now, you probably don't even know who that is. Right. So it won't be an issue for you. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Most likely I'm gonna have lawyers, but right now, I can get a court appointed attorney.
Okay. Let me see. 2005, so 18. Okay. You're not in the military or anything, are you? Okay, got it. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, Mr. Boykin, I'm going to grant your request. Just remember what I said. If you bond out, you don't have to go to that court date in November, okay? But you should let your attorney know that that's your preliminary hearing date, and you know they know what to do and file paperwork and stuff like that. All right, do you have any questions? All right, Mr. Boykin, good luck to you, sir. Let me get Baker.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Baker, you are charged with looks like one count of battery, which is a misdemeanor, and one count of cruelty to children, which is also a misdemeanor. I'm dismissing the charges against you. They didn't put a victim's name in here, so I don't know who you were alleged to have gotten it into with, but the common saying is no face, no case. Well, no name, no warrant. So now keep in mind what I said earlier. These charges could come back. I'm not saying that they will. I'm not saying that they won't. But you know, that's a pretty easy fix if they want to fix it. I don't know if they will. But as long as you don't get yourself in any trouble and you don't have anything holding you, you'll be good to go in a little bit once the paperwork is processed. Do you have any questions?
No, yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Baker. Don't come back.
I won't, thank you.
All right.
Go all the way down the hall, you're on the elevator, 214.
All right. Let me get Bishop.
Who's Bishop?
Marcellus. Oh, he's the one that has a different name. I don't know. Give me a second. Give me just a minute.
No, he over here.
You got 2 and 9.
We're getting them,
We getting them.
Oh, okay.
That's the stand to the right.
Yeah, Eric Holmes is his real name.
They'll see you. You stand right there, they'll see you.
That's like.
1508, 1508.
Right now, maybe to the
Irons is at Bradford.
All right. Sir, what is your name?
Marcellus
Hold on, you gotta speak up for me.
Bishop.
Okay, Marcellus Bishop, we have potentially another name for you, Eric Holmes, but either way, you're before me as Marcellus Bishop. You were charged with one count of criminal trespass. I am going to grant a bond of $1,000. However, you do have a special condition to not go back to 6000 North Terminal Parkway, which is the Atlanta International Airport, unless you have valid travel documents. So unless you're getting on a plane to go somewhere, do not go back to the airport. Do you understand? Okay, I need a verbal yes or a verbal no.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go back there, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble. Okay. You can go anywhere in the world you want except there. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Court appointed attorney? Okay. I'm just going to put here that you agreed on Zoom because you filled out your paperwork. You just didn't sign it. That's okay. All right. I am going to grant that request. Do you have any questions? Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Please don't come back and don't go back to the airport. You're good. All right. Yeah.
Where? No. Yes, Carmichael. Thank you.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Derek Carmichael.
Hold on. I need Cazares. Rangel.
There you are, darling.
Okay, there we go. All right. What's your name, sir?
Anselmo Cazares Rangel.
Okay, Rangel. Okay, got it. I didn't know if the G was pronounced or not pronounced. All right, sir, you are charged with all traffic violations, one misdemeanor count of driving under the influence, less safe, the bond is 5,000. One misdemeanor count of speeding, the bond is 2,500. One misdemeanor count of distracted driving, hands-free violation, the bond is 1,000. And then one misdemeanor count of reckless driving, the bond is 2,000. So your total bond is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5. Okay, $10,500. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'll do a court appointed.
Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get, hold on. I know Let me get Chambers. I'm gonna have to put Carmichael to the side for a second. All right, are you Mr. Chambers?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Chambers, you were charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. That is a felony. I am going to grant a bond of $3,000. One misdemeanor count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, the bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of improper passing of emergency vehicle, the bond is $500. And then one misdemeanor count of driving off suspended license, the bond is $1,500. So your total bond is your total bond is $6,000. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
For now, court appointments.
Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
Oh, they repeat the bond one more time?
Yes, sir. So the total, you just want the total amount?
Yeah, it's total.
Okay. Total amount is 345. Total bond amount is $6,000. So between $600 and $1,200 if you use a bonding company, you know, that's general guidelines.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Sir.
All right, Mr. Chambers, get your license fixed because if you keep getting that charge, it's going to eventually be a felony.
I know it, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Let me see Carmichael for a second.
Carmichael?
I'm looking. Oh, Mr. Carmichael, I just have you're here on a probation violation. I don't have any committal documents for you. So there's no reason for you to have a first appearance. I don't have any documents for you. So I don't know why you are on today's calendar. This isn't a VOP calendar. So did you get a violation probation because you picked up new charges? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm sorry that they brought you over here. But I don't have anything for you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Good luck to you. All right, this should be Mr. Are you Mr. Collins?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Collins. Give me just a second. All right, Mr. Collins, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of disorderly conduct. The bond is $1,500. One misdemeanor count of obstruction of an officer. The bond is $1,500. So your total bond is $3,000. Okay. You do have a special condition of your bond. Do not return back to 6000 North Terminal Parkway. That is the Atlanta International Airport, unless you have valid travel documents. So unless you're flying somewhere, don't go back to the airport while this case is pending. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You are entitled to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No.
All right, Mr. Collins, good luck to you. Please don't come back. All right, this should be, are you Mr. Franklin?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Franklin, you are charged with, give me just a moment. You are charged with, all traffic offenses. One misdemeanor count, well, let me make sure this is a misdemeanor count. It is, okay, one misdemeanor count of reckless driving, the bond is $2,000. One misdemeanor count of improper turn or failure to use a turn signal, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of driving on the wrong side of the road, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of crossing a divided highway, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of red light violation, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of failure to stop, the bond is $2,000. So your total bond is going to be 2 and 2 is 4, 5, 6. Total bond is $6,000. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Right now. Court. Court appointed.
Court-appointed, okay. Have you ever served in the military before?
No.
Okay. All right, I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions?
Okay.
Okay, all right, Mr. Franklin, good luck to you, sir.
How are you, bro? Are you good? You next.
Let me get Garrigan.
Yes. Yes.
All right, Mr. Garrigan, you are charged with. You're charged with 1 misdemeanor count of simple battery. Normally, bonds in these cases are a little higher, but from what I could tell, my understanding is that the other person involved is your daughter, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
How old is she?
She's 14.
Right. Yeah. So I took that into consideration. So I did set a bond of $2,000. Are you going to be able to make that?
No, well, right now, I ain't got access to my cell phone numbers and I can't call nobody.
I got you. Well, if you work that out, I'm sure somebody in the sheriff's office can assist with that process. I don't have any control over that. Okay. Now your special conditions, you have special conditions, do not have any violent contact. So what that means is, once you bond out, I'm not going to say you can't, be with your daughter. I mean, I've got a young child that's about to enter the teen years. I understand that, kids will drive you insane and things like that. But you as an adult, you have to find a better way to kind of deal with these situations and be a role model and things like that, because whatever you do, they're going to go out and do to other people. You know what I'm saying? So it's frustrating. I get it. Trust me. I've been there. And this isn't the worst thing in the world. But you see what can happen, right? Yeah. So no violent contact. That means no yelling, no screaming, no kicking, pushing. Don't punch holes in the walls and things of that nature. Like if you find, it's becoming overwhelming, just find a way to calm it down and then go back and address the issue once you're in a calmer mood. Okay, you understand? Well, I need a verbal yes or a verbal no.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And that's with Aya. I don't know how to say the last name, O-R-J-I. Okay, your next court date is going to be on November the 7th. But when you bond out, you're not going to have to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Okay. All right, Mr. Garrigan, I will grant that request for you, sir. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, that's it. But I just want to ask you, there's no way I could, do like a signature and.
I can't, like I said earlier, I assume that everybody wants that. And unfortunately, on this type of charge, I can't. I did take into consideration the circumstances and things like that. So I did set it lower than what I usually do. So I gave you that benefit, but that's what I've got for you. Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Right, thank you.
Uh-huh. I should have Glover. All right. Are you Mr. Glover? All right, Mr. Glover, you are charged with 1 misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is $1,500. And then 1 misdemeanor count of possession of drug-related objects. The bond is $1,500. So your total bond is $3,000. You do have a special condition of your bond to not return back to 7342 Hanover Parkway North. Okay, so don't go back to that location. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to a court-appointed attorney, or you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Just go court-appointed right now.
You said court-appointed, is that correct? Okay. You filled out your application. The only thing you didn't do is just sign it. So I'm just putting that you agreed on Zoom. and I will grant that request. I know that there was a female. I don't know if she was taken into custody in relation to you or not. I don't know who's the bad influence on who, or if y'all just don't get along together, or when y'all get together, bad things happen. But I told her that, you know, maybe y'all two shouldn't hang around each other. Again, I don't know your relationship. I'm not saying that you lawfully have to not hang around her, but just advice. You understand what I'm saying? All right, I've granted your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, let me get it on. All right, are you Mr. Hines?
Did
All right,
they fix the Griffin?
Oh, give me a second. Oh, they told me that they don't have any paperwork on him. Well, yeah, give me just a second.
Okay.
Because I emailed about that. Let me see. Missing documents, Travion Griffin. It says we could not find Travion Griffin's folder. So I guess he'll have to be seen tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Are you Mr. Hines?
Sir.
All right, Mr. Hines, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm dismissing the case against you because they didn't put a victim's name, so
Right, thank you.
I don't know. Now, remember what I said about dismissing charges. They could come back later on and that's a pretty simple fix, but I'm not going to tell them to do it. That's not my job. They should have done it to begin with. And I don't believe in technicalities. That's just a law, you know. That's a very simple thing for someone to put. They just didn't. So charges dismissed. As long as you don't have anything else that would hold you, you'll be free to go in a little bit. Just let us get this paperwork process and stuff like that. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions?
I have one question. So my mom tried to pay for my bond last night, but she got scammed, and it was across the street from Anytime Jail bond.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta tell her to report that to me.
Oh yeah, I can't do anything about that, man.
Yeah.
You know, just hey, look at it this way: your mom got scammed, but I'm giving you, I'm like you're getting out for nothing either way. So you know. All right. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Hines. Good luck to you. Please don't come back.
I won't.
All right. Let me get Jenkins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Jenkins. Let me see here. Here we go. Mr. Jenkins, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of battery. The bond is $5,000. One misdemeanor count of cruelty to children in third degree. The bond is $3,000. I am gonna, you do have special conditions of your bond to not have any contact with Tamelia. I'm guessing that's how you say the name. Jenkins.
Yes.
So, okay, don't have any contact with her until your case is over with, or an attorney files a bond motion to modify the bond conditions, okay? And then also don't return back to 4735 Courtney Drive, okay? Look, you have a different address on your application anyway, so just don't go back to the Courtney Drive address, all right? Again, until your case is either over with or bond conditions are changed. Your next court date is going to be on November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed. So what's my total bond?
Total bond 8,000.
Oh, that's 800.
Between 800 and 1,600 approximately. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Jenkins?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Jenkins. Good luck to you. Don't come back. Let me get, Lopez is continued for an interpreter. So that should be Mora. All right. What's your name, sir? Yes. Hold on just a second, because there's a little bit of delay and you've got the mouth covering.
Get to the side.
All right. What's your name? You gotta speak up.
Carlos Moroa.
Maroa. Okay. I didn't know if that was a typo because usually I see Mora, but Morora. Okay. All right, sir, you are charged with one count of misdemeanor count of possession of marijuana. The bond is $1,000. Next court date is November the 7th. I mean, are you gonna be able to bond out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Next court date is November the 7th, but you don't need to go there if you bond out, okay? You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Okay. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, let me get Myers.
Good job.
All right, Mr. Myers, you are charged with one count of battery, simple battery, family violence, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is $2,000. Okay. You do have a no contact to not have any contact with Takevius Myers. So until your case is resolved or until a judge modifies your bond conditions, just don't have any contact with them. I think that's your brother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I get it. It's kind of like I told the other gentleman, sometimes family drives you up the wall, makes you mad, makes you do things normally you probably wouldn't do. I understand. Relatively speaking, it's a minor thing, but you see it has severe consequences because look at where you are, right? But let this thing play out, speak with your attorney, let them do their job for you. And I think that you will be all right in the end. Also, don't go back to the 1466 address. However, listen, I am putting in here that you can get your stuff from there. Okay. Now, again, this is only until your either case is resolved or through your lawyer, you can file a motion to modify the bond conditions. This isn't personal to you. I have to do this in all the cases that involve these types of allegations where the people live together. Okay. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes it's somebody that they get told to stay away from their own home and the person doesn't even live there. So I get it. It's frustrating. But again, just get with the attorneys as quickly as possible. Let them do their job. Okay. Yes. The next court date is November the 7th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Probably court appointed.
Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Myers. Good luck to you. All right. Let me get Ogletree. All right. Are you Mr. Ogletree?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you are charged with one count of misdemeanor possession of marijuana. The bond is $1,000. You are also charged with one count of armed robbery. I can't set bond on that charge anyway, so bond was considered and denied, but I couldn't set it even if I wanted to. One felony count of possession of a weapon during commission of a crime. The bond is $10,000. One count of possession of a firearm while underage. The bond is $5,000, and then one count of cruelty to children in the first degree, which is a felony. The bond is $5,000. So on the charges that I could set bond for, the bond is 10 plus 10 is 21,000, but the armed robbery does not have a bond set. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th for preliminary hearing. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Can I say I don't know at this moment right now?
Hold on, you gotta speak up for me, okay?
Can I say like I don't know at this moment, like not right now?
Well, here's the thing, right? You basically have three options, and you don't want to go into a preliminary hearing without a lawyer because what will happen is that will delay your case. Okay. I mean, you got co-defendants anyway, so that's already gonna complicate things. But you don't want to leave here without somebody that's going to represent you on November the 8th. So if you say, I don't know right now, you're not going to really have an opportunity to figure it out unless you hire a lawyer. But if you hire a lawyer, that's fine. I think, if you say you want a court of appoint, I can't speak. If you told me you want to be considered for a court appointed attorney, I'm going to approve it. If you change your mind and want to go and hire an attorney, they can show up on November the 8th. That's not a problem. But what I don't want you to do is leave here without a lawyer and it delay, your case down the road. So the real question for you is, do you want to hire your own attorney or do you want a court appointed attorney? And then if you change your mind later, you can. Okay, good. Yeah, these are very serious charges. So you're going to want somebody on them. Let me see something. Yeah, you're born in 06, so 20 minus 3, 17. Yeah, you're young, dude. You're gonna need that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna grant your request for a court appointed attorney. So your next court date is going to be on November the 8th. Okay. Do you have any other questions? All right, sir. Good luck to you. Let me get, that's part of Oval Trees. Let me get Robinson. All right. Are you Mr. Robinson? All right. Just make sure y'all speak up, okay? All right. Mr. Robinson, you are charged with one count of providing inmate with contraband. Here's the thing. I'm dismissing the case against you. The reason why I'm dismissing the case against you is because I don't have any evidence that you couldn't have a cell phone on your person. Now, this case could come back and it may very well come back. It just required somebody to say that you weren't allowed to have it, but it just says that you have it. So I don't know if you are visiting the jail, you're an inmate in the jail, you work at the jail, but merely just putting that you had a cell phone on your person, that's not good enough for me. Okay. So maybe the charges come back, maybe they don't, but as of right now, I'm dismissing it. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. All right. Very good. Well, I don't know if anything else is holding you, but if it's not, you're free to go. And if it is, well, then you'll just deal with that on its own. Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Royal. Get Royal. All right, Mr. Royal, you are charged with one count of driving without a valid license, misdemeanor, the bond is 1,000, and then theft by receiving stolen property, felony, the bond is 5,000. So your total bond is $6,000. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on November the 8th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court attorney.
Okay. I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get Wilson. All right, Mr. Wilson, you were charged with one count of armed robbery. I'm sure that you already heard me tell your co-defendant I couldn't set a bond even if I wanted to, so no bond on that charge. Possession of a weapon during commission of a crime, the bond is 10,000. Possession of a weapon, someone under the age of 21, the bond is 5,000. Okay, wait, let me. 10,000 for possession during commission, 5,000 for underage. Cruelty to children in the first degree, the bond is 5,000, and then possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the bond is 1,000. So your next court date is going to be on November the 8th for your preliminary hearing. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court attorney.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wilson, do you have any questions about your case? Okay, all right, Mr. Wilson, good luck to you, sir. And then let me see, that's Mr. Watson, correct? I have Mr. Watson,
First, elevator on the left.
I have your out to bond, sir. Did you have somebody working on bonding you out?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, well, the roster that I got this morning said that you were already out to bond, so I don't have any paperwork for you. So I guess you just got caught in between bonding out and coming this morning. But I guess
Yes, sir.
you should be getting out fairly shortly because I don't have anything. If somebody's working on it, it looks like they probably posted it, but you know, again, you were just kind of caught in between, okay?
Central 150 L.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's there. All right, come on.
Yeah, so he should be good to go. All right, that's all that I have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys for working with me on a little bit early.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, take care.
The game.
Yes, sir.